Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our weekly Spaces chats. This evening, I've got two people with me as a slight change. So, joined as always by Carlini, but we also have Jamie here as well to talk us through. We'll talk us through a little project that he's been working on. So we'll cover that later. Good to have you with me, boys. Got a lot to get through from what happened last week. It's been a busy old week. But yeah, first of all, Carlini, how has your week been, and what are you looking forward to chatting about this evening?
Yeah, just busy as normal. What day is it? I don't even know what day it is.
Wednesday, my dude.
Wednesday. So, my kids' nursery. It was supposed to be the first day on Monday where they both went to nursery. So one of them's older and will be in the higher classes, and one was going to have his first day, but they had to close 2 rooms in the nursery because of COVID. So that put a damper on things. First day didn't happen. Apart from that, just normal working stuff. Looks, obviously. It was
Yeah,
very
we will
fun
get
doing
to that.
1000 for volume.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, probably one of the bigger topics that I want to cover this evening. Jamie, good to have you with us tonight as well. How's your week been, my friend?
Yeah, not bad. I kind of got myself a new keyboard and mouse today, which has been a nice little treat, away from the old Magic Mouse or whatever it's called, and the standard Mac stuff. So yeah, I got myself a vertical mouse for the first time and an ergonomic keyboard.
Oh, ergonomic management keyboard.
I know. And I was chatting to Hoddle, web smart contract dev, and he does more than that, but he uses, I can't even remember the name of it now, but some really strange keyboard layout, which isn't a QWERTY keyboard, which I didn't know existed, which is pretty fascinating. Where all the numbers, all the letters that are like commonly used next to each other are next to each other on the keyboard instead of split off.
Is it like Dvorak?
Yeah, that's the one, Dvorak. Do you use that too?
No, I've just learned QWERTY now, and it's supposed to be more efficient, right?
Yeah.
You can get your words per minute right up there.
Exactly. He was
wizard's
quoting
keyboard.
me 90 earlier.
A wizard's keyboard is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Lovely stuff. Jamie, we'll come back to you a little bit later on with your project that you've been working on, which is very exciting to share a little bit of that with everyone. First of all, Carlini, just our usual stuff that we go through, the big things. I was going through announcements of what we've covered in the last week or so. I think we started off with our liquidity pool from NFTX and the test that we were doing with that, with pulling the liquidity. Just wondering if you can speak to that a little bit more.
Yeah, so with token on the horizon, I'm not saying it's coming anytime soon. Don't get pumped and go buy loads of cats. I'm saying it's in the works. Part of what we need to check is sort of socially, will people stake if the option is there, and then also we need to test how, because we've had the liquidity pool pretty much our company's entire life, 6 months, and we just need to check what it would be without us having, because the liquidity pool is still there and all the cats can still be claimed, but we just need to see the effects on the company if we were to lower that liquidity pool, because it's something that cyberkongs run into a bit of an issue with, and it's when you're yielding a token, where do the tokens that's in the NFTX pool go? And the way they were set up as cyberkongs meant that it was going to effectively a smart contract that no one could touch. So the people owned fractionally the cyberkongs, but they couldn't get any banana from it. So they had to change that. And we're sort of in discovery mode at the moment, where we're just seeing what's possible. So I've reached out to NFTX, and they're working on stuff on their side, which something that someone had already contacted them about effectively this sort of thing. And I was pointed at the conversation which I read and was told there would be an update shortly, with long before token would be ready. So we're just looking at the options of what we can do if people will stake without us, and how it affects the market if we do have to end up removing the token. There's because of how quickly token improvements work. I have no idea if we will be adding liquidity again. I imagine we probably will, but that's there are so many questions to ask with token about how it needs to work, and these sort of, it's not really a niche case because it was so many cats. It was 5% of the supply or something was sitting in the liquidity pool, but it's just a test of what we need to prepare for if we do have to pull liquidity, and what will happen. Will people end up doing X or Y?
It's just good to run those sorts of tests and things before we launch it, as you said. I think that brings us quite nicely into the next thing I wanted to cover, which was your big old Moon Boy thread from, I think, Friday or Saturday. So essentially setting out where we are at 6 months old, which is crazy to think about, that it's been 6 months since all this started for us. What have we done and what is coming? So that big thread there was obviously got quite a lot of heat. I think it led to nearly 100 sales over the weekend in one big go, which was amazing to see. It was just kind of why that not suddenly came about, but why did that come about? Why did you think that was the time to do it? Was it because of the 6 months, or was it just people need to know? Let's go to the moon, sort of thing.
Partly 6 months, partly new year. New year, new me, all of that. I liked the logo that I put at the top of as the main one, and it took a while to prepare. The hardest part was getting all the images, because every tweet except the Bloot token troll and like the second last and last one that's all links, they all had images, and that was the longest bit to write. Just prepare all those images. Why? I just kind of felt like it. Like it wasn't like the day bore or a week before or last year I said, right, okay, I'm gonna do this. Oh no, there's my food. It wasn't like I'd prepared to do that. It was just like how the day was going, and I thought, you know what, yeah, I'll just go ahead and make something where people can, people often come, why should I buy one now? And I just thought having somewhere like that would be good to point people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to answer the door, so maybe
That's fine. I'll vamp a bit. I think, that thread, I've already seen that in our server over the last few days, has been as people have come in, either from finding that thread on, retweeted onto their timeline and jumping in, or having other people have seen it and said, oh, like, if you want a project, this is the one to get into. And people sharing that thread as here's why you should probably go from visitor to member in our Discord server. So I think it's great. We've retweeted it. I'll probably retweet it this evening after the spaces. I think it's a really good place to start. Give you a sense as a new person to our project of where we've come from and where we're going and where we want to go. But yes, have your food. I'll bring Jamie in because you've been working on a little project. It was promised on our roadmap, I believe. But I just wondered if you wanted to share where you are and the sort of things that we can expect. I don't know how much you want to share or how little. I don't know how much of is under the.
Well,
but
yeah.
I'll let you.
I am our finance and HR manager. Also, from I think it was November time, head of merch as well. So I've been looking after the merch since November. We've obviously had Christmas in between there, and I had a bit of surgery, so we kind of got a bit of momentum towards Christmas time. But we are ordering our kind of first prototypes of merch this week, so they should be in our hands in 2 or 3 weeks' time. And if we get the green light quite soon after that, we will be launching our first merch store. So this will be a more kind of like an essentials merch store, not quite to the levels of creatures and what they've been doing. But yeah, this will be our kind of essentials range. Probably going to be around forever, and anyone can buy this. This won't be gated. But we do have lots of other kind of things coming after that. So don't think we've just ticked something off our roadmap, as Peter said. This is going to be something that will be growing and developing. And to be honest, it's one of my biggest passions. So I'm so excited to be able to lead on this and get stuff out there for you to see. So there will be some teas, some hats, and a couple of other things too. We all want to make sure that we're happy with the quality and everything before we spoil too much. But consider this your Jerry Lorenzo Fear of God Essentials for Purs,
per edition. I think from what you've shared, like I think said that really well in terms of this is the essentials range. This is kind of hey, we said we were going to do merch. We haven't forgotten about it. I think there'll be 2 things left on the roadmap, I think, once this is done. Once the merch kind of ticked off. But yeah, as you said, it's not a tick box exercise. This is the start of it. And as you said,
this is the accessibility range for sure. So it's going to be accessible for everyone, and hopefully, I can't wait to see everybody wearing it because it's just going to be fun.
I'm excited.
And I look forward to sharing more and sharing images and obviously fit pics when we have them.
Absolutely, and like you said, hopefully not too long from there, which would be good. I think it'll just be cool. I know I've worn something that we had up on one of our TikToks the other day, and which got a few eyeballs, and I was like, what's he wearing there? So I think it'll be really cool. I'm probably more excited about the next thing that you get into. I know we have some disagreements on what fashion is, but I think that's the exciting thing about it is, we'll be able to find what people like and offer something that's a little bit different, as well as we like to innovate, in every other every other facet of the company. It'd be silly to not do it on merch as well. We've got a request, hopefully from the guy from Flex Tape, but I believe it is actually Flex Tape. But let me bring you up for a question. Hopefully it's merch related.
We'll find out.
Flex Tape, how you doing, man? The floor is yours.
Still connecting, it says here.
Okay. Oh, never mind. He's gone. Well, we tried.
Yeah.
But I mean, sort of, so in terms of what you want to take it to next, if we say that, because this is probably, I don't want to speak about the essentials too much because I don't want to kind of,
this line won't include like personalization, for example. Something that we want to look into more. And it won't include kind of limited hype type of pieces. It's not that type of project. This is the kind of the standards, the dailies, and then we will be getting to those more exciting pieces, those more limited pieces, the ones that you'll be keen to flex with your Jordans or whatever. Yeah, but I don't want to say too much because I don't want to promise something that we can't do because it is a little bit down the line. But yeah, the Essentials merch store should be live in February, and I really look forward to sharing it with you guys.
Amazing, super exciting. Really
good.
appreciate you coming on and chat about that, man. Yeah, and I just want to cover as well. This is completely separate to the Flex hoodie airdrop, our first airdrop from September. This is not related to that. That is still, I would probably say, like a higher tier from what this merch drop will do. As Jamie said, this merch drop that he was talking about there will not be gated. This will be for everyone to get their hands on. I would imagine it's going to be mostly per holders to start with, but everyone will be able to access it. The Flex hoodie, which we're getting closer and closer to, will only be for redeeming those 10 tokens that are available on OpenSea, which is not the only NFT marketplace in the business. Carlini, how are you getting on with dinner?
You guys keep going.
So saying about the Flex hoodie, I know we are getting closer and closer to that. I think IYK have them the last that we heard of that, because obviously the NFT is going to be linked to that. Let's have a look as what
I will
else.
say there won't be a hoodie in the initial Essentials range for that reason.
Yes.
We are prioritizing the Flex hoodie as our statement piece right now, and obviously that comes with the NFT. That will be in the collection log. That will come, So there won't be a hoodie. I know that might let a few of you down, but we don't want to do a disservice to that an initial first airdrop that we did.
Yeah, perfect.
There may be, in fact, I can say there definitely will be some hoodies down the line. But yeah, we want to make sure that piece in itself gets its own place in per law.
Exactly. I think the linked NFT to that hoodie as well is going to be really, really cool. I'm excited for the utility that we can give that in the future, and also just the fact of it's a more premium piece, and obviously there'll be far fewer of them, I would imagine, as well, because of the 10 NFT cost for it. We'll bring Carlini in on this as well once he's done eating, of course. But Jay, just wanted to get your thoughts on LooksRare and that airdrop, and what you've been doing with yours, and how you kind of see that as a potential competitor. I've mentioned it a couple of times on TikTok in the last few days or so, as it's kind of been gaining steam in the space. But yeah, just wanted to get your thoughts on it as well, mate.
Yeah, so obviously, just like everybody, it seems, got airdrops. Could claim some Looks token. I did it. I kind of saw it quite early in the morning, so I claimed. I think I had 2,450, and then I staked them immediately because it was currently at like 13,000% APR when I got them. So, which seemed quite a high number. And the token was about 190, I think, at the time. So I staked and just kind of wanted to see how things were going. But as the price was going up, it got to about 350 yesterday. I'd gained about 180 from staking, and I was I paper hands it and decided to sell at 350 because I was thinking from the reward drop for the collections. So I decided to sell then, thinking there might be a bit of a dip overnight. Doesn't seem to be the case. I'm not sure what it's looking like now. But things happen. So I sold at about 350. But it's free money. It's at 392 at the minute. But from a platform point of view,
yes,
from an actual OpenSea kind of competitor point of view, I mean, let's be real. It's not been built yet, has it? Like you can't filter by price yet. There are numerous kind of things that you'd kind of expect as a base level to be able to do that you can't do. They've kind of focused on a couple of nice features with the bid on the whole collection. I can't remember what they're calling that feature, where you can
I really
bid.
like that.
Yeah, it's really cool feature. But just I think I get so tilted by the fact that you can't sort by price. Like just so navigating one of these collections has been quite difficult, I would say. So they got a little while to go. I hope they've got the team behind them. I trust the people that have funded the project and been investors in it. I do think they will get there. But right now, it's it is what it is. The wash trading, you kind of can expect that. I think that's.
They're not shying away from that at all either.
No, I mean, why? They need the volume. It gets eyes on the project. It's both marketing and it also because of the mechanics of how they give the token 100% of the token, 100% of the fee back to the token holders. It's all all in their benefit, really. So
like
I'm sure Carlini can speak a bit more from that side of things, considering he helped Penelope's. I'll say helped. I mean single-handedly. Got Penelope's to 1,000 ETH of volume yesterday.
Indeed, we're way beyond that now, I believe.
I know. So someone's been watching all day today. But yeah, so we got. Well,
you got to have a nice clean cats.
Yeah. 1,000 ETH volume yesterday, which meant that you now earn trading rewards buying and selling Penelope's on LooksRare.
You do indeed.
Obviously quite a nice reason to do so, with the Looks token being decent and the team behind it being all right. Hopefully that's something that we can continue to use and develop in the future. People using LooksRare.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really interesting as well as just even if it just makes OpenSea kind of, I don't want to say wake up because it's not as bad. It's the place where everyone has been, and Carlini's spoken on it before on this. I was going to say podcast. It's a Spaces. It's kind of a podcast anyway. Spoken on it before of how OpenSea has been so instrumental in getting us to where we are now. So if nothing else, maybe this is something that OpenSea then looks at LooksRare and says, okay, I see what you're doing, but here's where we're going to improve. Here's where we're going to take this now. We're not going to sit back and let a competitor kind of come in and try and change things. We've still got this going for us. Like, we're going to kind of like push from there. So I think it's really interesting. I mean, competitors make people better.
Yeah.
So, because you've got something to compete against. So, yeah. But obviously, LooksRare is coming for the king, so...
Yeah, I mean, they developed a project that just looks like OpenSea in dark mode. I wouldn't say it looked too
You mean
different.
you don't have OpenSea in dark mode?
You can get dark mode on desktop for OpenSea?
Yeah, of course you can.
Oh, no.
Well, they call it night mode, but
Sorry. I've just switched now. That's blown my mind.
Have you ever
save my eyes in the future?
Have you ever put Discord in light mode? I didn't even know it had one until recently.
No, everything should be default dark mode,
right?
Optional light mode. Yeah,
it's proven to be better for your eyes, and you've only got 2 of them.
Yeah,
I can buy more screens if they burn out. I can't buy more eyes.
Yeah.
Whilst we're on that as well, we'll circle back to LooksRare and get JC's views on it in a second. But the comic airdrop video that we dropped yesterday, well, technically today, we dropped it at the stroke of midnight GMT because I thought it needed a little bit of extra sauce. Although from watching it, it didn't need any extra sauce at all. I love this video. Just wanted to kind of like make sure that everybody goes and watches this. But the work that Katie has put into that, the characters, the plot lines, all of this stuff, so good. Yeah, it was really exciting going through that yesterday, and kind of as we dropped it bang on midnight, it was cool to see people watching it and then discussing where that's going to go with the comic coming up.
Yeah, I mean, that video was incredible. Really, really impressive stuff by Katie and Josh, who films them. And yeah, it's just amazing to see the Discord so engaged after you drop that.
Really, really fun. How's dinner time going, Carlini? I saw you unmute for a sec. I'm assuming you weren't snacking at the time.
No, I've just got my milkshake.
Oh, nice. Now the big question. We'll go into Q&As in a bit, but the big question
Chocolate.
that I've seen. What was for dinner?
What was for dinner?
What did you have?
Well, I'm not going to tell people.
The people want to know. Okay.
No, just a new takeaway that popped up today. We don't have many takeaways here, so that's actually exciting.
It's big news. Just wanted to cycle back to LooksRare and what you feel about it. Obviously, positively from what you did yesterday, which was crazy and has led to a washing trend. We've seen a lot of washing on our account today. But yeah, just kind of speaking on LooksRare and what you think of it and where it could potentially go, I guess.
Well, today was our highest volume ever as the project. Yeah, let's go. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Apparently.
Yeah, I don't think that's very us,
3,200 Ethereum volume. That's
definitely, if we're going to hype it up,
we'd ever done before. Let's go.
Definitely don't look any further into it.
Let's go. Yeah, it's so LooksRare's current issues can be solved, whereas I think OpenSea might have a harder time winning people over. Like you said earlier, OpenSea is probably the most important project if you're going to exclude, things like Ethereum itself, Etherscan, MetaMask. OpenSea is the most important NFT project ever at this point. It got us here. Lots of other people got us here. A lot of other projects got us here. But OpenSea is probably the most important one that got us here. And I know people complain it's down all the time, but that's volume. And there are these sales bugs, but half of them are people not knowing how the blockchain works. And the other half is OpenSea not showing people that it's still for sale. So OpenSea does have its problems, but it is very important. But it has been the top dog for so long, and they have had money a long time. They've had money long enough to have done something about the customer service. And if they're struggling, I don't know if they would. I'm not sure if any bridges have been burnt, but they should reach out to Dapper because, as much as people also hate on Dapper for effectively for the Topshop prices going down of people's bags, they have scaled up incredibly. Their website holds huge volume now. They do have customer service. You do get emails back. You can contact them if you need to. And they did that during that hype period where we kept crashing Topshop, they hired about 100 people. And all I see, oddly enough, I only ever see anything about Topshop on my Twitter now when someone's saying, "Oh, I've quit my job and I'm now going to work for Topshop, for Dapper at Topshop." That's pretty much all I ever see. So they're just hiring people left, right, and centre. And maybe OpenSea need that, but they haven't really had a reason. Like Rareable has existed a long time and went down a similar route to LooksRare with the Rarity token. However, Rareable was always focused on the art. It was never It was it was supposed to be. Well, obviously, I don't want to sort of say what the founders wanted the token to the site to be, or what it was all about. But to me, it always felt like they wanted it to be Instagram but art. You know, you just scroll and see the art you'd like, and then you'd click it and buy it. They didn't envisage it as a search engine. They didn't. It wasn't like Google for NFTs. If you want to look someone up, you go on OpenSea, you search their wallet and see if they've set a name. If you want to see the floor price of something, you search for the project on OpenSea. Searching just for Penelopes on Rarible is still quite hard now, and Rarible do deliver on what they deem important. So when I was at NFT Boxes, we had an on-chain method for royalties. So here at Penelopes is not an issue because it is us, the project is us. But at NFT Boxes, we were putting on our contract other artists, and Nate Alex had designed a way for us to set a creator for those royalties to go to. But OpenSea is centralized and wouldn't accept that. Whereas a couple of chats with Rarible, and they didn't implemented it right away. So now, if you buy anything from NFT Boxes on Rarible, much like LooksRare, the royalty goes straight away to the correct individual. And I'm just trying to search now, and it does appear that finding the collection on Rarible is easier than it used to be. And just me finding that out now is maybe why it's not as popular as it could be. Like the sort of, I guess, the damage on that front was done. Like if you wanted to search something, you could literally type in what it was and it still wouldn't show you. Whereas I've just gone now and typed per, and we were the first one that cropped up. So that did seem easy there. There does seem to be a cat on sale for 0.17 ETH.
I just tried to buy it to see if it would work.
Free.
It didn't work.
Oh, okay. Bugged. That's another thing, OpenSea and Rarible. Get rid of the bug stuff. So I can see LooksRare working, and I was just having a bit of a play with sort of the tokenomics. So today's volume will be staking rewards, but today's volume's fees. So whatever today's volume is, divided by 50 is 2%. And that is the fee that you pay. And that goes directly to the stakers. And it's released block by block the next day. So let's just say there's, just for ease, 1,000 Ethereum of fees today from all the washing. You know, that's 14,500 ETH MEBIT was like $1 million of fees just in that one transaction to themselves. So what you've got is these fees of 1,000, theoretical 1,000 ETH, is released to the stakers, and people want their slice of that pie. So they buy the token, and that makes the token value go up. And that makes people wash more. And that puts more into the 2% pot. And that then, it's just a cycle. And right now, for 30 days, they've really upped the amount of token that come out. It halves after those 30 days, and I think it goes down again, maybe even halves again just after. So what that then allows you to have is sort of a loop, and people have theorized over how many. Well, they haven't really theorized; they just looked it up because it's all on chain. The fees that OpenSea are getting every day, and if LooksRare were to get the average, sort of October, November, December, maybe weighting it slightly towards the end of the year, that volume, if they can get that much organic volume, that would be $2 million a day in fees that would go to stakers. And that sort of thing is what keeps your token up. And that's what brings eventually the organic volume over. Like, I know right now people are just going to wash until it's not profitable. And I think today, LooksRare homepage, I think, is incorrect. I think they've stopped updating it, or it's just going slowly, or something like that, because the 14,500 Meebit sale didn't update the homepage. And I think what's going to happen there is people are going to believe it to be profitable when it's not, because people are going to wash it right up until the line where it's profitable. But then you could do that right. You could wash effectively, in the morning. You've done your day's wash now. You're all done. But then some dummy at the end of the day washes too much, and it makes everyone's washing unprofitable, because it's based on the total volume on the site. So if the total volume goes past a certain point, you have to sell your token for more. And there is quite a bit of risk in washing, and people seem to be talking about it in the same way as Rarible, which it is not. Rarible it was the earliest kickstart to the NFT bull run. Like, my view is that Top Shot massively, brought in so many people, and in a way, it's not like this isn't Top Shot is so great. People got so annoyed that they then went and looked at other NFTs. They couldn't buy packs, so they were going to the marketplace, and then the marketplace was dumping. And they're like, oh, what else is out there? Because that was fun. Then they, do a bit of searching, they find Ethereum, they come over, and bam. And we saw that in a way, because obviously I was at NFT boxes, and so many of our first buyers had come from Top Shot. They, just anecdotal, but their first NFT was Top Shot, and their second was NFT boxes. And then we saw similar with Bored Apes, which we're looking at a 4-month period here. So it was almost like people weren't happy and they left to go elsewhere. But Rarible did the first little bump. They took CryptoPunks. It was Rarible, and a couple of people were doing certain things. Pranksy was minting art and selling it and getting quite a lot of rewards on it. And then the punk wrapper came along. And what the punk wrapper allowed you to do was wrap up your CryptoPunk in a way that would sell on Rarible. And there were just a couple of buys and sells. I think Pranks had listed a few, and Nate Alex bought them off him. And they both got a Rarible reward that week, because Rarible was weekly. You used to have to wait until the Monday. So you could say you bought something on one Monday, you'd have to wait until the next Monday until you were then able to claim your Rary reward. And as it got busy, that actually got pushed to Tuesday most times, and sometimes Wednesday. But Nate bought Punks. And what happened was they both got more than they paid in Rary rewards back, because the volume was so low, and Rarible, like Looks, gave a fixed amount. It was something like 35,000 Rary to the buyers and 35,000 Rary to the sellers. And Rary price was sort of pumped by, it's just a theory, but it seemed to be by DeFi, YFI guys had been pumping it. Potentially Blue Kirby, not entirely sure. That was just the rumor that was going around. Keeping the price up, and then he'd do a couple of drops and get huge amounts of Rary for it, and then they'd be able to sell high. But what it managed, because the difference between Rary and Looks was Rary discouraged wash trading. So it wasn't as decentralized as Looks. They literally just looked through the transactions. There was somewhere you could go and you could post transactions, say, this user looks like they're wash trading. 98% of LooksRare volume would be gone, because there'd be no rewards, just purely because of how obvious it is. So people were washing, and they weren't just washing CryptoPunks. And there is a bit of a difference between what happened with CryptoPunks and washing, with CryptoPunks, everyone sort of knew what was going on. We all knew why we were buying and selling on Rarible, but there wasn't like collusion. There wasn't a plan. It wasn't like, right, you buy this and then I buy that and then you buy this. It was, right, I buy this CryptoPunk and then I list it a little bit higher, and everyone was doing that, and it was just a churning machine. And when I first saw Nate and Pranks do that, get that rare reward of over 100%, I went and bought 80, maybe 90 CryptoPunks. I remember it 'cause it was a Monday. I was at a football game. I play five-side football on a Monday, and I just reading Discord after the game. I was a bit knackered, and they were just like, "Oh my god, I just got more in Rary than I got at Punks." And this was a time where, you look at Pranked and Nate now, and Nate's just done a six mil drop. Prank's buying 750 grand, probably more, maybe a mil NFTs. This was a time when neither of them were like that, like sort of wealth wise. We're talking 5 digits, not 8 or however many. I don't even know how much they're worth now. So it was a big deal, and I just thought, with that option, Punks are going to run. So I just went home. The floor was under 1 Ethereum, and I just bought. It felt like hundreds, but it was probably 60, 70, 80, something like that. And I just bought, and I just bought, and I just bought. And then I wrapped them, and I wrapped them, and I wrapped them, and I sent them to Rary, and I listed them, and I listed them, and then along went the churning of CryptoPunks in a way that you knew what was happening. I knew people were buying my punk for Rary rewards. They knew I was selling it for Rary rewards, and I knew I was going to buy a different one from someone else for Rary rewards, and then I was going to list it, and then someone else would buy it, and Rary came out. Punks were under 1 ETH, and they definitely hit 6 or 7 during the great rarying. So it was just such a huge run. And that worked because wash traders were discouraged. So people weren't doing these huge, obvious transactions, because what we could do was have this sort of almost, it's like when you walk past someone in the street and you give them that little head tip. Everyone knew what was going on, but it wasn't like from yourself to another wallet. And people did try that. I even remember there was a Polkadot project. There was a launch around that time, and they released their whole project on Rarible. Bear in mind their project was on a different chain, so that they would all get Rary rewards, and it was an insane volume. Like they did a drop almost to the levels of today's drops, which back then just didn't happen. And they took so much of the Rary rewards, or were going to, that Rarible just blocked that contract. They got nothing. They put a huge amount of volume in and got nothing. And all of the customers who'd minted this NFT were then coming back and trying to claim their Rary rewards because this project had told them they'd get it. But because Rarible was centralized, they could turn it off just like that, which is different to LooksRare. They're not doing that. And because there is no risk in that way, with LooksRare, you're just looking at daily volume and price you can sell the token at. That's all that matters. How many looks will you get for that fee that you just paid, and what can you sell that token for? Whereas with Rarible, lots of that volume was going to be deleted because people just keep trying. Someone would learn about it and they think, oh my god, that's amazing, I can loophole this. They'd loophole 100 ETH of washing, stuck out like a sore thumb at that time because it was so obvious, and it was just blocks and they got no Rary, and that meant that you got more than your allocation on the volume because they were cutting out different bits of volume. So you couldn't easily get to the perfect wash level, I guess. Like with this, I think we're well over today because of the homepage issue. But you could almost work out, right, I'm going to sell my token at this, the volume is this, I will stop washing when it gets close to this. And because there's no jeopardy of losing your looks tokens, you could just get less because other people wash, but there's no one to say, right, you're cheating the system, out you go. So it's just going to be efficient. Looks will be farmed efficiently until that volume has come over. And when that volume has come over and there's that $2 million of fees every day, stakers are going to want that. It's going to then pile people in. So the question becomes, can LooksRare get any of OpenSea's legitimate volume? And there are some of these projects I'm looking at have high fees. Like Bored Ape Yacht Club, they're set up properly and they've got a total volume of 700 Ethereum. So they are getting some legitimate buys. It's just obviously dwarfed by the 108,000 washed Meebits. It's just going to take away that chance. So you will never really be able to go and farm, sell to yourself and profit, in my opinion, because it's just going to be too efficient. And people will say, oh, but then the token might go up. At which point my reply will be, well, you could just buy the token then. Like, if you think the token's going to go up, buy the token. You don't have to wash to get the token. Maybe there'll be some days where, there's an hour left and people think, oh, it's down, I can farm some more, and then everyone does it at the same time and they overcompensate and then everyone's down horrendously. Or maybe that happens so much that some inefficiency will be built in. But the real chance LooksRare have is getting that volume over, getting that 2 mil a day of proper volume, and then the stakers will really be, happy, I guess. And that will drive the token up and that will drive more washing until eventually it will hit some sort of equilibrium. We will see it level out for some reason, be it token down, token up, washing up, washing down, organic volume in. Because just remember that the more organic volume there is, the less of that buffer can be for washing. So you're as you've got a sort of a 30 centimeter ruler. Currently, 5 centimeters is correct volume. It probably even less. Maybe 1 centimeter is organic volume. 29 centimeters of it is washing. But as that organic volume grows and grows and grows, because people come over for these more incentives, because sure, I know you're not profiting, you're not buying and profiting, but if you have the chance to buy a Penelope on OpenSea, where you would pay 2.5% fee directly to OpenSea, or LooksRare, where you could buy the same cat at the same price, but you pay 2%, and then because the washers have been efficient, you get that 2% back in their token. So effectively, you should be paying no fees. In fact, you should, I don't want to say profit, but you should get a little bit more back than 2%. Otherwise, the washers have done too much washing and they've all lost money. So effectively, you're buying feelessly on LooksRare because you will get this token and it will match that fee, at least until something is changed, which after 30 days, they halve the reward, but it will then reach another equilibrium. And I don't know, we'd have to see how things play out over this next 30 days to try and predict what will happen in that first day when it halves. But it will depend on the organic volume. But LooksRare should be able to get some of the some of the organic volume over. Some people just don't like using OpenSea. They don't like that they were looking to IPO. They don't like that they just don't have a customer service, or if they do, what is it doing? I guess because there are so many projects that aren't verified that have hit 100 ETH. Funny to say, last year. Whereas LooksRare is obviously countering that. They've basically built up a project that's like, right, what's wrong about OpenSea? Let's focus on that. And there is plenty wrong with LooksRare right now, and I don't think anyone is pretending otherwise. As Jamie was saying, price ascending is just fixed. You need it just show me the cheapest one and then organize it that way, just instantly. Just do that. And I have heard some smart people saying, the indexing tech that OpenSea have is incredible and will take a very, very long time to replicate. Maybe that's where they're focusing. But LooksRare has the opportunity, and I am not a seed investor. I hold no looks, don't have any. I'm just an interested onlooker who was there for Rary and is sort of noting how this is different. And I saw some messages like, well, Rary kicks off NFT summer 1.0, LooksRare is going to kick off 2.0, and unfortunately I don't think it itself will, because the tokenomics just don't lend to it in the same way that Rary did.
There we go. Yeah, I think it's fascinating. It's certainly all anyone wants to talk about over the last couple of days. And like you said, the aspect of it that changes in 30 days from now. 30 days is an insane amount of time in this space. Like, we could be anywhere by then. Hey, maybe even Coinbase will have their marketplace out by then. Who knows? So March, is it? Is that?
I didn't say anything.
So who knows where that will go? It's certainly very, very interesting. And yeah, for the time being, maybe it's better off you're better off buying your new per on LooksRare than OpenSea. But hey, cool. Really appreciate that. We've got some questions as usual, a mixture of serious and silly as well, which is always good to have. First of all, Jamie, this might be one for you from Delicious Grizzly. When can I make my per into a golf club cover?
Fantastic. I will say that golf club covers have cropped up before as a suggestion, so maybe I should take it a bit more seriously. But
because we're a country club, right?
I know.
Golf
fixes. It fits in.
Country club, yeah. We should personalization of merch is going to be essential. I think we want our cats on there, don't we? So that is definitely something that we're going to look into down the line, and I'll see what we can do about the golf club cover.
Love it. What else have we got from Tickle Snarf? We've got when Carlini versus Nate Alex deathmatch.
I've already actually won that, and I just have to daily tweet 864 times from his phone that I've taken off his corpse, just so people don't know he's gone.
Love it. And a serious one from Tickle Snarf, which we've kind of covered with a few little bits and pieces, is what intrigues you about other projects that we've seen, and how is that informing where PCC is going?
Other projects is in other NFT projects?
Tickle Snarf said he's seen some tweets about DAO questions and what you intrigued by in terms of, so DAOs, other projects, aspects of things. I know last spaces we mentioned the Kittens Arena. So yeah, is there anything you've seen in the last week or so, I guess?
Anything new in the last week? No, I haven't
No.
seen anything new that like. I can't remember unless someone's got any suggestions of something new and groundbreaking. Something is coming, token wise, so I'm interested to see what that is. I've been told it's a game changer, but I have also been told I have to wait to see it like everyone else. So sad times. So obviously I've been championing a yielding token for quite a while. It very much feels like the next big step, along with ENS for the next big step for your username instead of profile picture project, username picture project, I guess. And there was a third thing that I now can't remember, but none of them have been new even this year. I'm not sure if I just haven't seen everything that people are doing, but I don't remember anything new this year, bar Kitten Arena. Oh, the Doodle Wrapper as well, but that wasn't this week, and I think I knew about it. I did know about it last year. I think they announced it this year.
They did this year, yeah.
I'd already planned that we were going to use the wrapper before they'd announced it because Poopy was. I'm friends with Poopy. I'm friends with Alex, and we often just sort of band ideas around, what each project can do to improve and what each individual is doing on their project. So I know what Poopy's doing on Doodles. I know what Alex is doing on the Arena, and I know sometimes what I'm doing on Purrs. But the wrapper is a game changer, and I don't think everyone has fully understood just how much it changes things. I remember reading something along the lines from a game dev who, I will put it out there, is not a fan of NFTs, but their point was solid that one of the main things of gaming NFTs is they say, oh, but you can use your sword from this game and that game. And he basically said, completely avoiding why we would not want to do that for balance reasons and all these other sort of reasons. Here is why that just can't happen. And he went on to describe just how hard it is to get something to show up in a game when you've made it for that game, and how it's even harder to get it to show up when it's a different one that's your game. GTA to then the new GTA, it's so hard to get an item from that into the new item. They have to basically create it again. And again, I'm not a game dev. This is me reading what they said and recounting it. And then he went on to say it's basically impossible when it's someone else's game, because what if your sword is set to be size 3, and in your game that's fine because people are size 10, but then you put it in someone else's game and their people are size 1, and you've got a sword that's 3 times bigger than the people. Now this, in my mind, can potentially be solved with the wrapper and collabs. So you can wrap your original NFT in a wrapper to make it work in this game when the original and the game are working together to make that work. So that's a possible way around, just as one example. And the way Doodles are using it is to improve the lore of your NFT without adding more. So the example there would be, what's the example? Say Bored Ape Kennel Club, which gave value to ape holders at the moment they were airdropped. So it's a bit like our snapshots. You take a snapshot, a moment in time, and you're rewarding people at that moment, and then they can sell the dogs if they want. But with the Doodle method, you have the chance to re-roll for a rare spaceship, and that's an additional add to your token always. Because if your token gets a rare space doodle, that then is potentially how you will keep it. Like, say you got a floor doodle, but then you got a top 10 space doodle. You'll probably keep it wrapped as the rare one, because when people are searching that collection, they'll see your rare one and pay more for that. And that just adds more value to your token. You're not rewarded for a moment in time, which is what I was always trying. So Bored Apes, they made airdrops popular. They definitely weren't the first to do it. It happened all the time in the past, but they were the ones that really did it right, made it hit the big time, and then everyone was doing it. And what I never liked was how you're rewarding people for that moment of time. And the wrapper solves this, and we sort of half solved it, because the other issue is that an airdrop is just an airdrop. If you think about it, what has anyone received for their kennel club at the moment? It's all speculation at this point, because you haven't received anything yet. There are small bits here and there, but for the price they're going, the value isn't there yet. You're not even, they don't even consider them members. It's apes and mutants. So that's why I solved that area with the Kissy Vault shares, tokens, fractions, because with the Kissy Vault fractions, that token is always tied in. There's a big circle, and we solved half of the issue there, because now our airdrops will always have value. They will always be valuable in our ecosystem. They will always have that backing. Whereas most airdrops just don't. They're sort of, oh, here, have this airdrop and it's done. But we're still diluting the collection. So there is more stuff, which I like the way we're doing it, because you can then, they're almost utility tokens, right? You can use them for lots of different things. So the wrapper, I'd say, is the big one so far this year. Maybe if people put the arena onto a side chain, we might start seeing things like put in your NFT that has a certain floor price, your certain whitelisted NFT, and then you have to pay to go in a certain amount, and it's effectively a gamble. But I think the wrapper would change all profile picture projects. I think token would change all profile picture projects. So they're the two that I'm looking at big time.
Exciting stuff. Yeah, the possibilities for that, as always, just make me very excited. So yeah, it's interesting to see where we can take that as well, which is what I love about this space. I'll miss off that one because we kind of just answered it. Good one from vr.pcc.eth. Great name. Does the project, do we have a floor price in mind that we want to get to, or is the focus purely on building? Let me just make sure that I read that question correctly.
We would never have a floor target.
Yeah.
Just because that isn't even really a thing for a project. If a project ever says anything like, we're going to go for, unless they're memeing, like 1E floor and then drink milk at 10E floor, all of that sort of stuff. But if they say that they're aiming for a 1E floor, or they're aiming for a 2E floor, and seriously meet, like, would I love us to have a 1E floor? Yes. Would I aim for it? No. Our project, our goal is to build and to bring things that our customers like. We want you to want to be in the community. We need to make it so that you want to be here and that you feel it is valuable to be here, and that is our job. Our job is not to get it to 1E floor, because when we get it to a 1E floor, maybe you sell at 1 ETH and you're happy. Someone buys in at 1 ETH, and then our job is to keep adding value for that person to get to 2 ETH. We just because we got to a certain floor, like just Bored Apes now is, I haven't actually looked today. Last I looked, it was 77.77. That was their floor. If someone buys in now, they have made, they're down. If you're aiming at floors, they're down unless you get to, I don't even know what their royalty is, but something, you'll have to get something like 85 just to break even, and that is a project's issue. They need to focus on bringing value. We can't target floors, floor values, or anything like that, because there's also nothing we can do without artificial hype. I could go out and pay a couple of grand to a couple of different artists and just get some hype teasers and just do a sort of lock the Discord, get the hype projects out, make it seem like something big's happening, and then put a rod inside of a penguin egg. There are these sort of things that you just end up letting people down if you fake hype. So I guess internally I would love number go up. We would see more interest, we would see more volume, we would have more to buy for the Kitty Vault, and it would be good going into token. But we don't target floor. We don't even track floor values. We track how many people are talking in Discord, how many people are claim the kittens, how many people are following Twitter. The metrics that matter are focusing on community, in my opinion.
100%. I think it's, what was I watching? I think it was an interview with Mr. Beast interviewed by Marquez Brownlee, and one of the questions was essentially that same answer of, rather than like, I want to get to 1 million YouTube subscribers. It's the same metric, right? It's like, I want to get to a 1/8 floor. I want to get to 1 million YouTube subscribers. It's irrelevant to what you're actually offering. So we offer the value, and then the people decide what that is worth. And I think, our focus is always on, do you want to be here? Are you enjoying what's going on? Like, do you agree with what we're doing? Is there stuff that we can change and build it that way? I think is the exciting way of doing that, and the more rewarding way for us to do that as well is like, we're dropping merch, people are excited about it. The video that Katie dropped last night, about the murder mystery comic that we've got coming, and the response that I got to that last night was just so cool to read and have people excited about it. And we're sending detective gifts back and forth, and I'm like, this is the sort of shit that I love about this project and that we're doing. So that's kind of what I like about it as well. Other questions? I did have another one. Had one from Ebo asking when TikTok anonymous for suffering purrs. Saw this morning that Ebo has unfortunately downloaded TikTok in order to watch our TikTok videos coming at you mostly daily, but is now addicted to TikTok, and I don't think there's anything we can do about it.
He's screwed.
Yeah, that's it now. You're in the hole, and that is 3 to 4 hours of your day just gone.
We don't make the rules.
We don't make the rules. It's just us TikTok. It's the game it plays, baby. We are now uploading those to our Instagram as well. If you would like to avoid TikTok, I did see quite a few people saying like, "Oh, I have to download this now." So no, you don't. I'm dropping them on from Instagram from now on. TikTok is where we're doing videos about other NFT news as well as just us. So you'll get usually what I'll try and do is 3 things each day. 2 that will be NFT news. So we've had LooksRare, we've had Crypto Bats, we've had Doodles news, the rapper stuff that you've already mentioned, Carlini, and then we'll have some news about what the Purs are up to as well. Do I have any other questions kicking about? Let me have a quick look. I think we're fresh out. Unless anyone's got anything in the audience that they want to talk about, or they want to get into. Carlini, Jamie, if there's anything else that we haven't covered tonight that you wanted to cover, now is the time.
I'm just looking at how how profitable it would be to wash right now.
It's the time to do it. It's the time of day for it.
I used a bath bomb yesterday for the first time.
First time.
When
Yeah, I've never had
per
a bath
bath
bomb.
bombs?
Always
Can we
done
get
bubble
some?
bath.
Can we get some per bath bombs on the merch? Can we put that on the merch list? I'll be well
I
into
just was
that.
sat in glittery green water.
Oh,
It was weird.
I've ordered a hat for my running, and it was like just a cream hat. I was like, that's fine, looks great. It was on sale. It was like £3.50. I was like, brilliant. Turns up, glittery, very glittery. So,
I have to see this.
but
You
it's
need to
just,
drop that.
this is the
Drop that
problem
in
with
the
ordering
Discord.
stuff off the internet. It's more work to then send it back, and I'm like, well, it'll do the job that I bought it for. So,
Yeah.
I go running in a glittery hat now, I guess. Who knows? Couple of questions. One from JT: when mouse toy inside hairballs, which is not actually a bad shout.
Excuse me, what?
When mouse toy inside hairball. And
Is that a
then
fishing rod inside egg?
I think it was in relation to the fishing rod inside the egg dig.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then Alandre asking, no clue what this wrapper is. I'll drop the doodle graphic in the server in a sec. Earn token for having the PCC as your profile picture? Question mark.
Potentially. That the issue then becomes having. I'd much rather a metric such as token if using pcc.eth on Twitter, because that can be tracked. That is letters. That is text. I'm certain there is a way that's easy in comparison to track who is using .pcc.eth on Twitter. We could then have you sign a crypto slam and maybe set something up that automatically fires the token out. Like, I'm not saying that would be easy, but I think with enough money that would be possible. With profile pictures, it's just too hard to tell if it's a pair, and then people do their own derivatives. And we're going to be helping you do your own derivatives soon. Alpha, not really alpha.
You dropped that last time.
Oh, did I? Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Pers Boutique.
Oh, okay, we did drop. Okay, I never know what I've already said. I didn't tell everyone about the 5e floor this year, right? Did I?
You didn't drop that one yet, no.
Yeah,
No.
Cool.
Or cut that part out of the YouTube, it's fine.
Yeah, you better.
Lovely. Right. Yeah, I think it's possible. Yeah, I think, like you said, tracking it as a photo, very difficult. I can assure you. I've had people before DMing me saying like, "Why am I not an ambassador anymore?" And then I can see when they DM me that it's a derivative per and not something else. I was like, rats. Apologies. So yeah, I think that's again stuff we can look into once we've got that. The only other question, I think this will probably be the last one, was from Flex Taper, just following up from asking about golf club covers, is do any of us play golf? Which I used to like 4 times, I think, and I've hit 3 good balls, and it felt really good, but then I'm not good enough at it to actually kind of keep doing it.
I have only ever played night golf. Which is golf in the night. We
could have all just said no.
Glow in the dark balls.
We could have just said yes. It's like no one's gonna know until we actually have a country club, and it's like, the boy they play golf. Let's go have a round, and then we don't know what to do. But
do you reckon the floor would go up if I said we were buying a country club?
Do you get drinks included if you own a per?
I mean, you kind of have to, don't you?
I think so.
Who's gonna travel that far?
Especially when about 60% of the Discord server is overseas.
Well, that's the loophole, right? You just make sure they can't come to your free drinks, and it's fine.
Is the country club going to be like 50 yards from your house?
No, it's at least a mile.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need enough of a radius so no one can figure out where your house is.
He'll be
Oh,
dropping
dear.
in my helicopter, won't he?
Yeah,
it's
we'll have a helipad, and I'll instruct the driver to fly in from different directions on different days.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Guys, really appreciate you jumping on with me tonight. Appreciate everyone listening live, and I also appreciate you if you are listening to this on YouTube, and also that you got this far in. Covered loads of stuff tonight, the LooksRare stuff, obviously our NFTX liquidity pool and testing that out. I believe I'm not going to mention that actually because that is Discord only. The comic airdrop video that we've covered. I will drop all these links on Twitter after this as a little refresh. Yeah, just want to say thank you to everyone for listening, and we will do this again next week.